Good evening. And today we are here for a lovely topic. This is gut microbiome, gut health, or gut skin brain axis. Today I have Dr. Mankul with me. Dr. Mankul, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Dr. Mankul, he is an integrative dermatologist. He is practicing at Delhi and he works on system-based approach, that is immune system approach to heal skin disorders. So, in this live session, we are going to discuss two topics: gut brain axis and gut skin axis, and the gut skin brain axis, a combo. So, initially, Dr. Mankul, he'll focus on gut skin brain axis, and after that, after some time, I'll focus on gut brain axis. So, Mankul, thank you very much for joining us. And it's a lovely topic and it's really near to my heart. Thank you very much for coming here. Gut skin axis. So,
Thank you, Dr. Thank you,
yeah.
Dr. Aarti. I mean, we just love both of us, and thank you to all the audience. We just love to interact with each other because I understand how much of our skin disease are related to the brain, and there we always need Dr. Aarti, and then we have gastroenterologist, or both of us love to work on the gut, so that's our major common ground. So thank you, Dr. Aarti, for this opportunity, and thank you to all of you.
Yeah, let's start the topic. So, Dr. Mankul, what is gut microbiome and how this is related to gut health?
So gut microbiome, it's the simple way to understand is like we all have a thumbprint, we have a signature, a unique signature. So the same way in our gut, there are millions and millions and trillions of bacteria and fungus and microorganisms which stay there, and all these microorganisms they can be very friendly to us, they can be neutral to us, they can be unfriendly to us. And just to gauge an idea how many there are about 100 times more than our own cells, or the DNA, cumulative DNA of these microbes is about 100 times our own DNA. So we are not alone in our body, and these microbes, they are present on our skin, they are present in our gut, they are present in the organs, so they're everywhere. And the science over the past 20-25 years has really progressed in understanding this gut microbiome, or this overall microbiome of an individual, and how it influences our thought process, our physiology, how we what we eat, and how our internal organs work, and how our skin works. So everything. And so this gut microbiome, it's like another living being which is a part of us, has a huge impact on us. One of the simple examples that I love to quote to my patients about this is, and you take a child who's craving sugar and all the time, and you just deworm the child, and within a few days you see that the child's sugar cravings go down. And that's a clear evidence that our inclinations are not just our own, they are also based on what is growing inside us. So that's one way to understand what influence gut microbiome has on
This is
us.
directly related to our immune system. Great.
Exactly, yeah.
Beautifully explained. Thank you. So, exactly, is this gut skin brain axis?
So um, another simple way to look at it is that there is a gut has so many microbes, and it also, you can imagine your gut like a vessel, and it has a lining, and this vessel has microbes and food inside. Then it has a wall, and then there is immune system all around it, and then there is a whole brain around it, a nervous system around it. And that nervous system is in a constant communication with the brain nervous system through thousands and thousands of nerves. And also, this gut and brain is also connected through the blood. So there is a constant communication, a lot of chemicals are being released from the gut, and in fact our food and all the nutrients that are being absorbed are then going into the brain. And then from the brain, a lot of hormones, neurotransmitters, nerve signals are going into the gut. So they're
That is
constantly in a crosstalk.
stock.
And yeah, crosstalk. So we use the same language. And then it's not just this, they're also communicating through magnetic fields. So there is a communication beyond just a physical communication between the two. And then both of them are also in communication with the skin, because skin is supplied by nerves which are again linked to both these, the same blood, the same immune cells, and the same magnetic fields. And the basically there are two ways to look at it. One is that medicine many times goes backwards. So it's first that we discover how brain has an impact on the skin, and then gut has an impact on skin. So that has been known for a long time, and now through science we can give definite logical understanding that how they are linked through these things. But it's well known
Yes, I
that
think
gut, skin,
it's very simple and we are observing on everyday basis. थोड़ा सा
yeah.
stress है, anxiety है, थोड़ी butterflies, we all are observing. And we are
Yes.
also observing people who are constipated. जब ज़्यादा दिक्कत होती है, IBS issues है, we are observing. Everyday basis, we are observing. True, this is interesting.
Absolutely.
So, for the gut skin brain axis, your clinical observations, क्या आप ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हो आपके पेशेंट्स में, किस तरह के पेशेंट्स आते हैं और आपका क्या अप्रोच रहता है बेसिकली?
Right. So, I mean, taking it from a पेशेंट के पर्सपेक्टिव से, पेट में गर्मी बन गई तो हमारे को पिंपल निकल आए जी, गर्म हो गया था शरीर तो मुंह में छाले हो गए और स्किन में दाने निकल आए. और so this is a very common thing. So what is this गर्मी, पेट में गर्मी बन गई? So this is kind of common things that we get to hear from patients. Constipation हुआ and उसके बाद स्किन में एक्जिमा और इचिंग बढ़ गया. पेट का इन्फेक्शन हुआ, उसके बाद हाइव्स हो गया. सो पीपल स्टार्ट डेवलपिंग दाफर्ड, या जिसे हम कहते हैं पित्ती उछलना, उस तरह की चीज हो गई. So, or the person is under stress and then they start scratching more on their skin. So all these things are very common observations from a layman perspective that we can make. But from a doctor's perspective, if we see, then almost every disease, and we'll be talking in more detail. Sorry. So we
It
will
is
talk.
so interesting that at times we are labeling people the medication resistant and they're constipated basically. The moment we are working to reduce the inflammation in the intestine, they're improving here. So this
Yes.
is something beautiful. This is something somehow modernized diets. It's affecting all this, but these connections are there, and now there is evidence-based data. And
Yes.
and what about the autoimmune diseases in the skin? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So, the joy is beaming on Dr. Aarti's face, because she has seen that how, you would struggle with patients with mental illness and suddenly you shift their diet and it becomes better. Same as a dermatologist, you would go to double medicine, triple medicine in autoimmune or in allergies or other skin disorders. And the approach is largely कि अच्छा इतनी दवाई से काम नहीं हो रहा है तो दवाई और बढ़ा दो, and
huh.
you keep on increasing the drug, but you realize that you are banging against a wall. And until you shift the diet of the person, you suddenly see that things come into a resonance and things start improving.
So,
And
like similar
medicines ke side effects come.
similar in
Yeah.
psychiatric issues, brain issues, you're also observing in the skin issues also the similar improvements.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
You,
great.
the moment you shift the gut, the skin also becomes better.
Wow, wow. And the autoimmune issues also, it becomes simpler to manage. Psoriasis,
So
go and all.
yeah, psoriasis, vitiligo, um, we are able to reduce the need of the dose of medicines. We are able to, जो medicines के side effects होते हैं, they get reduced, because partly अगर unhealthy gut होगी तो दवाइयों के भी side effects ज़्यादा होंगे. So
True,
both the things happen, and
true, true.
there are always miracle stories where they get cured also. But ये कहना कि सब लोग क्योर हो जाते हैं पेट ठीक करने से, वो भी it's unrealistic, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I would like to share one PPT here. Just a minute.
Should I do that? Or it's your PPT or?
You start with yours, and lastly, I'll share mine on the gut brain axis.
Okay.
Okay. Start
Okay.
yours. Start
Okay.
yours first.
Let's start
Yeah.
mine first. Hmm. Okay. So you can see that, Dr. Aarti?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. So we're going to discuss a little bit about in brief various common skin issues and जो अभी हम बात कर रहे थे just to go a little more in detail of what we just talked about the common skin issues and how they're related to the gut brain and skin axis and if you are born in India and if you've lived in India ये तो हमने सब जगह सुना होता है from Ayurveda all disease start from the gut and it was you could make fun of it 30 years back as an allopathic doctor but now it is pretty much known as a fact that it's true that a lot of disease start from the gut to understand a little bit we have been talking about how that gut has an impact on skin issues and the brain also has an impact but how does it have an impact तो उसके है there are 4 or 5 major ways through which a gut issue impacts the skin. The first is by creating a leaky gut. So you can imagine your gut like a sieve. एक छलनी की तरह है. It is keeping the stuff which is not good for you, the waste out, and it is released out of your body. And whatever is good for your body, all the vitamins, minerals, nourishing things, they are taken in. But if for some reason that sieve is broken down, it is not functioning properly, उसमें बड़े बड़े छेद हो जाए तो then we can imagine पेट में तो there is all kinds of toxins and all kinds of things they can leak into the blood and then through the blood they reach the skin and in the skin all those toxins are expressed as various different skin disease from acne to dandruff to psoriasis and various other ailments and the other thing that happens is that through this leaky gut a lot of our nourishment is also lost the food is not digested and a lot of nourishing foods are lost as a waste and उसके साथ में nutritional deficiencies भी हो जाती हैं तो body becomes toxic and deficient on nutrition and antioxidants so these are two ways through which a leaky gut जो पेट का बैरियर है वो टूट जाने की वजह से
Or
skin
hyper
issue
permeable gut. Hyper permeable.
hyperpermeable gut.
Yeah.
Then the second is the microbiome, which we were talking about. That there are so many different bacteria. There is so much DNA in our system, which is constantly producing various chemicals interacting with our system. तो एक हम कहते हैं कि जो लार्ज इंटेस्टीन है उसमें दिस इज द बिगेस्ट हाउस ऑफ दिस माइक्रोबायोम and it produces a lot of medicines for us. It breaks down the undigestible fiber and makes short chain fatty acids, जो हमारी बॉडी की बहुत बढ़िया दवाई है एज एन एंटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी सारे स्टेरॉइड्स वाले काम वो शॉर्ट चेन फैटी एसिड्स हमारे लिए करते हैं बट इफ देर आर बैड बैक्टीरिया ग्रोइंग तो वो नहीं बन पाते हैं एंड अगेन दे क्रिएट टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंसेस जो हमारे ब्लड में जाते हैं एंड देन दे बिकम अ सोर्स ऑफ इन्फ्लेमेशन इन द बॉडी तो गर्मी जिसको हम कहते हैं कि गर्मी बन गई है बॉडी के अंदर इन्फ्लेमेशन हो रही है सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स स्टार्ट टू हैपन and then there can be a loss of hydration because of it loss of fat soluble vitamins so the skin can become dry so these are some of the ways by altering the gut permeability by altering the microbiome by triggering inflammation nutritional deficiencies and a loss of hydration are some of the ways in which the gut impacts the skin and also it has an impact on the brain through these ways. तो लेट्स लुक एट सम वेरी कॉमन डिजीज लाइक एक्नी जो पिंपल्स होते हैं नाउ इन कन्वेंशनल डर्मेटोलॉजी इट इज सीन एज के इट इज ऑयली स्किन है पोर्स ब्लॉक हो गए हैं तो इस वजह से आपको पिंपल्स हो रहे हैं विच इज वेरी ट्रू बट दिस वॉज लार्जली मोर और लेस ट्रू मोर फॉर टीनेजर्स बट वॉट वी आर सीइंग दीज डेज इज अ लॉट ऑफ एडल्ट एक्ने कि 20s के बाद भी एक्ने चले जा रहा है पहले it used to be that in 1980s if there would be a female with acne in her 20s so doctors would take a photograph of it and report it but now we see every second third woman has acne on her face in her 20s and 30s and that is to do with the hormonal imbalances and also with the gut brain axis, pollution, stress, and many other things, cosmetic use. But gut brain axis is one of the key things which is again playing a role through all the things we discussed, by triggering inflammation, by triggering a microbiome imbalance. So all the things we talked about, by triggering leaky gut, it is triggering acne in women. Then hair fall. And COVID has seen an epidemic of hair fall. उससे पहले तो हम देखते ही थे cases, but the percentage of our cases of hair fall in our OPD has increased dramatically in the COVID times. And one of the reasons for this is again leaky gut, because people are developing a lot of nutritional deficiencies. जब भी हम कहते हैं कि किसी को persistent hair fall चल रहा है, so anybody, we like to check their thyroid and we like to check their iron levels. And very often, because of a leaky gut, people develop iron deficiency or acidity issues, iron deficiencies. B vitamins, जैसे आजकल biotin is very popular, so that's a B vitamin. And very often because of बहुत सारे B vitamins तो हमारे पेट में good bacteria हमारे friends बनाते हैं, तो उनकी कमी की वजह से B vitamin deficiency हो जाती है. And then another cause for hair fall is again the stress. And Dr. Aarti is going to talk about it in detail. But one of the discoveries that has been there in 2020, although alternative medicine has known it for years, but in 2020 there was a paper on how the root of the hair itself has a whole stress axis. जैसे ही हम स्ट्रेस में जाते हैं तो हमारे अंदर से स्ट्रेस हार्मोन्स, कॉर्टिसोल, ये सब रिलीज होता है हमारे एड्रिनल ग्लैंड में से, जो किडनीज के ऊपर होता है. But the same or hormones can also be made by the root of the hair the moment we are under stress. And the effect that has on the hair is कि उसका growth रुक जाता है, उसका growth phase छोटा हो जाता है. So the hair becomes thinner and thinner. So this has been validated. Then we know the effect of COVID and COVID vaccines on the gut brain axis. जो ये सारी चीजें हमने इन्फ्लेमेशन की बात करी, वो थायराइड को भी इम्पैक्ट करती हैं, एंड थ्रू अफेक्टिंग द थायराइड इट आल्सो कॉजेज हेयर फॉल. And there are hormonal causes. Then dandruff, that's a very perennial problem people face. They face dandruff also, and they also face के face पे एक rosacea की तरह एक redness चेहरे पे रहता है, and their central face around the nose area flaky, dry, red हो जाता है season change पे. Eyebrows में flakes निकलते हैं. Around the mouth it stays dry, and they feel that their skin is dry, but it's actually again inflammation because of fungal overgrowth in the skin. So people with very high on sugar, carbs, milk, जब डाइट में बहुत ज्यादा होता है तो पेट में फंगस की ओवरग्रोथ हो जाती है माइक्रोबायोम में, गट में, एंड दैट ऑल्सो रिफ्लेक्ट्स इन द स्किन फंगल ओवरग्रोथ, जो कि स्कैल्प में होता है. तो फंगस से बॉडी फाइट्स एंड इट क्रिएट्स दिस ड्राई इची स्कैल्प, and face पे it creates this kind of a red, itchy, dry skin. So we call it seborrheic dermatitis in our language, but this is also very much linked to a shift in the gut microbiome in 70 to 80% people. The other very common cause is कि people, this fungus loves oil, and people feel that since the scalp is dry and dandruff हो रहा है, we should apply more oil. And it becomes counterproductive because it feels better at that time, but actually it worsens the fungal overgrowth. So these are some causes for dandruff. Then Dr. Aarti was asking about autoimmune disease and allergies, atopic dermatitis, hives, urticaria, psoriasis, vitiligo. All these diseases, by triggering inflammation and all the factors we discussed, it has a major role. And by treating the gut brain axis, तो इसमें stress का क्या role होता है? The moment we see that the person is stressed, तो ऐसे ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल्स हमारा ब्रेन रिलीज करता है जो स्किन के बैरियर को इमीडिएटली तोड़ देता है. सो इफ वी सी द स्किन, इट वी कैन इमेजिन इट लाइक अ ब्रिक वॉल, एंड इट हैज सेल्स लाइक ब्रिक्स, एंड उनके बीच में सीमेंट होता है विच कीप्स इट स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड एडहियर टुगेदर. बट जैसे ही these chemicals are released, they bombard the skin and breaks down. So there are two kinds of dryness we see. One dryness is that the brick wall lacks moisture. The second dryness is that because of the bombardment from behind, this brick wall is broken down, and that broken down brick wall also appears dry. अब उसके ऊपर आप कितना भी moisturizer लगाओ, it will not get moisturized because it is broken down because of inflammation. So the inflammation has to be reduced, and then only it will recover completely. So
That
this
is
is
a diet and lifestyle approach.
yes, yes. So until then, you can apply steroid ointments, whatever you can do. It will only give you temporary relief in inflammation until you work on the gut-brain axis.
And what do you recommend for this? Okay, you just cover this.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it. And then another common issue that we face is women. It's a huge market. Women, I have a patchy skin. My face is not glowing. When I was young, my face used to shine. I've become dull, and then they go for peels, procedures. So many things are happening.
Mm.
But actually, behind it is insulin resistance and acanthosis nigricans. Acanthosis nigricans is acanthosis means thickening. Nigricans means blackening. If you take a thin paper, it will reflect light and it will shine. And if you take a thick paper, it will absorb all the light and it will always appear as dull. तो acanthosis nigricans में skin thick हो जाती है around the neck, in the folds, face के ऊपर जो है अलग अलग areas में, around your mouth, on the forehead. So these areas become dark, and that gives a patchy, dull skin. And behind it is high levels of insulin, which also happens because of the same reasons. Because high insulin hormone is like a messenger to our cells, and if these cells are not functioning well because of the same reasons, they're inflamed, they have toxic things inside them, so then body has to make more insulin to get the work out of them. And body काम तो करवा लेती है, but that high insulin then creates these issues and PCOD and other skin issues. So we always use this cycle to understand insulin resistance. It's like your body is feeling tired and hungry because the cells are toxic. But the moment we eat food and insulin goes into the cell and says to the cell, please take in the glucose and do the work, cell says, I can't do anything. तो वो सारा जो खाना खाए वो सीधा फैट में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है. बट द सेल इज हंग्री ऑल्सो, तो और भूख लगती है. एंड अल्टीमेटली इट लीड्स टू दिस, that a girl who is initially eating less and is digesting everything and assimilating everything gradually feels hungrier and hungrier, and whatever she eats doesn't reach her cells and it is going straight to fat. And then people have difficulty losing weight and difficulty controlling their appetite. And even behind this insulin resistance, in a lot of cases, it is gut brain axis. So if we understand, हमने gut brain skin axis की तो बात कर ली, but let's see what are those common life choices which are constantly impacting this gut brain skin axis. When we end up with a health issue, some will say, oh, it is just in your mind, you don't understand it, you are taking too much stress. Or there will be people who will say, oh, it is just your diet, आप खाना ठीक नहीं खा रहे हो, mentally तो सब ठीक है. Or maybe it is both. It's not just about working on the mind, it's not just about working on the diet, one has to work on both together. And at even behind that, one of the commonest thing that people are doing these days is sleeping late. In the past 3 years in COVID times, we've seen teenagers with a lot of white hair, आधे बाल चले गए हैं, because they've been sleeping late in the night. And what happens is that if you sleep late in the night, if you see there is melatonin on the y-axis and x-axis is the time. So normally your melatonin, which is the healing hormone of the body, चाहे वो brain हो चाहे वो gut हो, इन दोनों को heal करने के लिए अच्छा नींद चाहिए. And melatonin is the main mediator of that healing. तो वो अंधेरे में 9-10 बजे बनना शुरू होता है. It peaks between 2 to 3 and then it goes down. But if you are exposed to bright lights during that time, white light, it is made 0. और यहाँ पे if you are here 2 to 3, if we expose even your back of the knee to white light for 2 minutes, the melatonin will go down by 60%. But what is happening? लोग 11-12 बजे तक टीवी देखते हैं, then they try to sleep, they don't feel sleepy, so then they hook on to their phone. and eventually when they're sleeping at 2 or 3, it will not be the same, because अब बॉडी का टाइम आ गया बाकी हॉर्मोन्स बनाने का. सो यू विल गेट अ पीक ऑफ मेलेटोनिन विच विल बी मच लेसर. ना गट पूरा हील होगा, ना ब्रेन पूरा हील होगा, ना मसल्स पूरा हील होगा, एंड द पर्सन इज fatigued next day. So one of the simplest thing one can do in order to heal the gut brain skin axis is
Early to sleep.
ideally 10 to 11 सो जाए. So these are some things which help form them. The second simplest thing we can do is follow a pyramid diet. Our digestion functions in a circadian rhythm. वो हमारी जो अग्नि है वो सन के हिसाब से चलती है. It peaks at the afternoon and then it goes down. So those people, women who eat like this, heavy breakfast, lighter lunch, lightest dinner, they have 30% better hormones than women who eat like this. No breakfast, moderate lunch and a heavy dinner. इसी से ही बहुत मेजर डिफरेंस वुमेन की लाइफ में या इन जनरल गट में भी और हार्मोन्स में भी एंड ब्रेन स्किन एक्सिस सब में पड़ जाता है. Because ultimately the cause of gut axis issues is also largely linked to undigested food. If you eat, let's say, 4 rotis here in the night, it will be less digested and it will convert into toxins. If you eat 4 rotis here, you've eaten the same amount of food, but this will go directly, get assimilated well, and go into your muscles. It will nourish your whole body. So, pyramid diet is very helpful. And then getting out of the just the concept of protein, carbohydrate, and fat, and remembering that there are a lot of other things in the food, consuming all the colors of foods, जो हम आजकल vitamin की 100 रुपए की गोलियां आती हैं, all those are present in different colors of the foods, and consuming actual foods rather than food like things. Food is either freshly cooked or raw. Whereas food like things is कि आपने ए और बी को लिया, उसको कुक किया, उसके बाद उसको आपने फ्रिज में रख दिया, फिर फ्रिज से निकाल के फिर रीहीट किया, तो उसमें सी डी ई बन गया, फिर उसके बाद आपने यू ऐड सम प्रिजर्वेटिव टू इट एंड यू पैक इट एंड देन यू सेल इन द मार्केट, देन इट कम्स टू योर हाउस, देन यू हीट इट इन द माइक्रो एंड यू ईट इट. सो इट इज नो मोर अ फूड. इट्स लाइक फूड के जैसी दिखने वाली एक चीज है. इट डजंट हैव द सेम नरिशमेंट. And then consuming live food. So behind protein, carbohydrates, and fats, there is something of an invisible element, which is the enzymes, which is present in any food which you imagine sowing in the earth and it will grow into a plant. So when we consume these enzyme-rich foods, if you put a roti in the earth, it will just rot, or rice. But if you put a fruit in the earth, it will grow into a plant. So that source of enzymes or pranic energy is very important to heal the gut and brain and skin axis.
वही
And
foods जिसमें खुद life है.
yes, yes,
They will give you life.
they will give you life. It will be a transfer of life to the life
Right.
and will recharge you.
Yeah,
And
very
they're best consumed empty stomach.
absolutely, Mankul.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Dr. Mankul. Absolutely.
And then acidic versus alkaline diet, just by changing the pH of the diet, it's like you have a room जहाँ पे एक अच्छा nice soothing music चल रहा है, तो 4 लोग बैठे हैं, they would have a harmonious conversation. And you put on a news channel and you put rock music, and there is more likely for people to end up with a fight. Same thing happens in the body. The same microbes, the same cells, if in an acidic environment, more likely to fight with each other. If they are in an alkaline environment, they are more likely to work as friends. So consuming alkaline foods, vegetable juices, these kinds of things. Whereas acidic like tea, coffee, packaged food, all these turn into acidic foods. So turning more alkaline in one's diet. Avoiding the balancing act of caffeine and alcohol. Dil mein, the person is tired because they have not slept well, and then there is an inverse pyramid diet. They're tired, so now they need something to kickstart caffeine, which will not give energy but just make us numb. And then by the evening, you need alcohol to bring the nervous system down. So, unko avoid karke, one can go into a alkaline diet. Then milk is a very common cause for skin issues because it's not the same as it was earlier. Earlier, it was coming from desi cow. Now it's a crossbred cow. 1 करोड़ लीटर प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है, 6 करोड़ लीटर बिक रहा है इंडिया के अंदर. कैसे हो रहा है? सो लॉट ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल केमिकल्स, पेस्टिसाइड्स, hormones being fed to the cow. So it's
Hormones disrupted,
horm-
right?
hormones being fed, and then it is being processed multiply, heated, cooled. So it undergoes a lot of changes. Hence, it's not the same, and it's no more an elixir. And same with wheat. Wheat used to be a very tall grass, up to 8 9 feet. It used to be 14 chromosomes. Now it's 48 chromosomes. So it's absolutely a different grain, and both these things form the 80% of our diet in regular day life. तो ये दोनों ही हमारी गट ब्रेन एक्सिस को इम्पैक्ट कर रहे हैं. एंड वी सी सो मेनी पेशेंट्स दे लीव मिल्क एंड उनके पिंपल्स ठीक हो जाते हैं, उनके डैंड्रफ ठीक हो जाते हैं, स्किन इश्यूज बेटर हो जाते हैं. सो इट्स द मोस्ट ग्रेटिफाइंग पार्ट ऑफ आवर प्रैक्टिस कि एक छोटा सा चेंज किया, एंड हमें दवाई कम से कम देनी पड़ी, एंड देन द पर्सन गेट्स क्योर्ड, बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट पीपल आर सीकिंग, दे आर लुकिंग फॉर क्योर. And then pollution, chemicals. So eventually, when we look at all these things, the way to fix the gut brain axis or balance the gut brain axis is a good diet, a cleansing and detox of the system, which any doctor will be able to help you with, especially an integrative medicine doctor. And repairing molecules, दवाइयाँ जो कि आपको supplements which help repair the gut brain axis. Then there are good bacteria, nourishment, yoga, pranayam, meditation, exercise, and a lot of Eastern medicine, acupuncture, Ayurveda. All these are very good viable approaches. Eastern medicine में gut brain axis has been recognized for thousands of years. So we may talk about it now, but it's been recognized for years and years. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for your patient hearing, and I think I've stopped sharing, you know, so you can see me. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm taking this gut brain axis for 2 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
So, uh, as we know that per WHO data, 6.5% of the population is suffering from the psychiatric disorders, and we all are observing increased number of cases. One is medication model. The other thing is, the other proven data is, if depression is there, this is related to the inflammation in the system. पर ये इन्फ्लेमेशन कहाँ से आ रही है, दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. नो डाउट दिस इज एन इन्वेस्टिगेशनल थिंग कि ये इन्फ्लेमेशन और फायर सिस्टम में कहाँ से आ रही है, पर जहाँ ये गट ब्रेन एक्सिस है, कॉन्स्टिपेशन, आईबीएस, गट इश्यूज, एविडेंस बेस्ड डेटा इज इन्फ्लेमेशन वहाँ है, एंड वी क्लिनिकली ऑब्जर्व दिस कि जैसे यहाँ काम करते हैं इंप्रूवमेंट आती है. सो वेन एवर आई टॉक टू माई क्लाइंट्स, कई बार मैं कहती हूँ कि विटामिन, न्यूट्रिशन, दीज आर रियली इंपॉर्टेंट. इनिशियली दे आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. फॉर स्किन इट्स इजी, समझते हैं कि हाँ स्किन का रिलेशन यहाँ है. फॉर द ब्रेन, दैट्स व्हाई आई जस्ट वांटेड टू शो दिस. सी, जो ये डिश बन रही है ना न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स की, गाबा, डोपामिन, इट्स अ न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर. सेरोटोनिन, इट्स अ न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर. ये डिश बन रही है प्रोटीन से. प्रोटीन का कन्वर्जन हेल्दी डाइजेशन से, जिंक और बी विटामिन की मदद से अमाइनो एसिड्स में हुआ. हाँ, और ये जो एल ट्रिप्टोफेन अमाइनो एसिड है, कुछ गट बैक्टीरिया से आया, कुछ प्रोटीन कन्वर्जन से हुआ. अब ये अमाइनो एसिड हैप्पी न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर सेरोटोनिन में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है. एंड द मोस्ट इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग इज स्लीपिंग इश्यूज, नींद नहीं आ रही, नींद का मेडिसिन लेना पड़ेगा, फिर उसका आदत पड़ता है. अरे अगर ये डिश बनानी है, ये डिश हमारे को हमारे सिस्टम में बनानी है, so we need to work on gut brain axis. And for me, very two things that are important for the gut brain axis. Number one, it's not only the diet. Definitely there's a great role, because ये सारी न्यूट्रिशन न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स को बनाने के लिए चाहिए. ये न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स बनेंगे तभी जब ये न्यूट्रिशन हम प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं. और सपोज आज के टाइम में अगर वी आर सराउंडेड बाय पिज्जाज, दिस और दैट, और हमें ये न्यूट्रिशन ब्रेन के लिए नहीं बन रही, तो हम ये न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स बनाएंगे कैसे, स्लीपिंग हार्मोन बनेगा कैसे. सो इन नटशेल आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड कि न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर सिंथेसिस के लिए न्यूट्रिशन तो चाहिए, पर अच्छी डाइजेशन के लिए we need to manage stress effectively, because there is a bi-directional link. स्ट्रेस आया, वही बटरफ्लाइज शुरू हो गई, वही डाइजेशन माइक्रोबायोम गड़बड़ शुरू हो गया, उसके बाद न्यूट्रिशनल डेफिशिएंसीज है. एंड डेफिनेटली यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट, व्हाटएवर यू हैव एक्सप्लेन, लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस. So somehow uh, वही ट्रेडिशनल डाइट्स हम मॉडर्नाइज हो रहे हैं, वो मॉडर्नाइज्ड कल्चर, our kids are surrounded by pizzas and burgers, and इतना peer pressure है at times, how it's difficult for manage for us also कि इस peer pressure को कैसे manage किया जाए. Do you agree with this fact?
Absolutely, जो पिछले 3 साल रहे हैं, especially with teenagers, what we have observed is that it's a collective consciousness of teenagers who, at 12 in the night, they are. I mean, if you tell them that you have to sleep before 11 or 10, it's a major fear of missing out for them, because 12 o'clock, all the teenagers will be on the phone and they'll have a Maggie party. They'll all be making Maggie and then they'll be having parties. So if you tell one of them, you don't do this, so he's missing out on social life. So a lot of peer pressure for them. And so I think हमें यही सब चाहिए, हमें सत्संग की जरूरत है. We need this kind of a reinforcement time and time again. And also those who want to heal a healthy life, they have to swim against the wave. थोड़ा
I
तो करने की जरूरत है, अदरवाइज बहाव
agree.
हमें कहीं और लेके जा रहा है. Very true.
Because for the teenagers and even for the kids also, school canteens, peer pressure from there कि पैसे लेके आए हो.
Right, right.
अच्छा तुम पैसे लेके नहीं आते हो, तुम घर का खाना लेकर आते हो. so so much of peer pressure, आप समझाना भी चाहोगे तो it's difficult, and now we are expecting productivity from kids.
Right.
And if we are expecting productivity, we need to go for our basics. That is mandatory. Somehow it's required.
How well put. Expectations are going up and nourishment is going down. So
Yeah.
I think how we need to nourish more and expect less. I think that's the crux.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, Dr. Bankul. It was an
Thank you,
interesting,
Dr. Ashi.
interesting discussion. Thank you, Mr. Samul, for joining. Thank you very much. It was
Thank you.
something I really enjoyed this session. Thank you.
Yes.
Would
Okay.
you like to add on something?
I think we are good, and it's just that maybe we can end with the thought that if there is one thing जो हमारा बॉडी, खास करके ब्रेन के बारे में जो कहा जाता है कि ब्रेन को वापस से रीजुवनेट करने वाली चीजें बहुत कम है, बिकॉज नर्वस सिस्टम जो है, नर्व सेल्स जो है वो रीजनरेट नहीं होते हैं. बट देयर इज वन थिंग विच कैन हेल्प पीपल रीजनरेट नर्वस सिस्टम, विच इज मेडिटेशन.
Agreed.
So it is now validated and proven that brain derived neurotrophic factor is made by meditation. So probably that's one thing which can help all of us anchor ourselves in a good lifestyle also, and keep repairing ourselves in this challenging phase for humanity. So
And
thank you so much.
meditation, it helps at every axis.
Yeah.
Reducing stress, decreasing inflammation, improving digestive system, all axis,
Everything.
all axis. Thank you, Dr. Mankul. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, everyone.